Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, the craziest deck I ever found online. The Legends deck, the 5-color Jodah the Unifier Legends deck. This deck is crazy. I have no idea how good this is, but it just looks insane. The packaging. Every card inside is basically a legendary creature, and then we're gonna have all 5 colors so that we need all these crazy lands to get them out. Cavern of Souls, the Plaza of Heroes, the Secluded Courtyards, all of that in one neatly packaged 60-card deck. How good is it? I have no idea. I'm gonna find out. Now, the early game plays very much like a Naya Human deck because we got all the Naya Human packages. We got 1 Skrelv, kind of like just a protection if necessary. We got 2 Killen, Daring Traveler. It's really the legendary creature part. Just whenever he attacks, if it's a top card of a library, if it's a creature with mana value 3 or less, put it in our hand. Otherwise, we can put it in the graveyard. So, guess what? Get free card draws with him attacking. Great. For Thalia, tax out all the control decks, tax out the board wipes because we're getting a big board, right? 2 Dennick to fight the mono red, the aggressive burn decks. 2 Hajar loyal, is it Hajar? Hahar? I don't know. Hajar loyal bodyguard that makes all legendary creatures indestructible. Also pumps it a little bit if we want to go in for damage. We also have 2 Melira, the Living Cure, protects a creature, also can fight poison counters. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. There might be toxic decks, as you saw last time. And then in a 3-drop, we got 1 Loran of the Third Path, just to break an artifact and enchantment if we need to. 3 Adeline, just so that we can start overrunning people with our attacking creatures. And then 2 Anim Pakao, 1000th Moon, so that whenever we attack, we also get more gnomes. White boards coming out of nowhere, left and right here. And then we have 3 Lagrella, the Magpie. Basically, this is a removal, but not a removal. Whenever she comes into play, we exile any number of other creatures controlled by different players. So we can remove a creature our opponent controls, remove a creature we controls. Remove a creature our opponent controls is kind of like a Brutal Cathar effect. Remove a creature we control is kind of like a protection effect for that moment, so that when she dies, that other creature comes back in. So that's a pretty good sort of protection on 3-drop. Then on the 4-drop, the only non-legend creature in the deck, the Geological Appraiser. 4 mana, 3/2 Discover 3. You remember this from the Rakdos Discover deck. You remember this from the banned cards list on Explorer. This explores or discovers a 3-drop. Most of our deck is 3-drop. Perfect. And then we have 2 Urtai, just as a pseudo counterspell in legendary creature style, and 1 Halana Alena, a pump effect in a legendary creature spell. And then, of course, the Jodah Unifier, the card that kind of weaves it all together. Legendary creature we control gets +X, basically coat of arm for all the legends. And then, whenever we cast a legendary spell from our hand, exile the top card from our library to cascade, and it's kind of like a Discover effect, but it's like to cascade into another legendary spell, right? I think it's just legendary non-land card. Very, very sort of a enticing effect to kind of trigger. We're not playing EDH though, we're playing Standard. So how good it is to get a free card in Standard, we're gonna have to find out. Now, the land base is gonna go a little bit crazier, right? 27 lands, because of course, if you look at the deck, it is filled to the brim with creatures and filled to the brim with high mana value cards. So hopefully we can cast them. And what we're gonna have is all these basic lands. We're gonna have 3 Ganjo, 1 Pling, 1 Boseiju, 1 Seachrome Coast, 1 Stormcarved Coast, 2 Copperline Gorge, 1 Sundown Path, 1 Razorverge Thicket, and 4 Jetmir Garden. I read them very quickly because this is the land list that I copied from a lot of the Legends deck that I found online. I didn't change anything because I don't really know what is the best land here, right? And you can make your choices. There's a lot of red-green. There's a lot of white. So we want to have the red-green lands and then some of the white dual-color lands. That's the idea, I think, going into these kind of mana base. But what's more important are these other 12 lands that you must have. 4 Cavern of Souls. Name, what are we going to name? Humans. Everything is a human except for Skrelv, right? Everything else I think is humans. Humans. Even though they're all legends, they're legendary humans. Same thing for the 4 Secluded Courtyards. And then Plaza of Hero, of course, just plays on every legend itself as well. So basically, I think we'll be okay with the mana base because of these lands. These lands are our City of Brass that doesn't even deal 1 damage to us. Perfect. Now let us go and try out this deck. The 5-color Legends. How good is a 5-color Legend? We're gonna have to figure that out. While drafting, you can hold down the Alt key to show how many copies of a card you already own. That's pretty cool. That's actually a useful hint. Okie doke. Where are we going? Jodah 1490. This guy is old. 1492. We gotta go first. We got fast lands going first. All right. Keep fast lands going first. Thalia's gonna get them. Depending on what they are, though. White. All right. I guess we're just gonna see who's the better aggro deck. Looks like I'm just playing humans. Bring it on. Thalia on Thalia crime here. I want to play the Adeline, but then if I attack with the Thalia, I think it's just gonna trade. Or the 1/1 is just gonna die to the Thalia, which I'm okay with, honestly. That gets me 2 damage in. I can't really fire Brutal Cathar. It's coming. If I have a red, though, I will be able to get the Appraiser out. I do need a red. That is not a red. That is another Thalia. That's one card I don't need, huh? Alright, well, I can't even play this because that's red and green, not red or green. So, I guess we'll get a Melira out. Now they get free card draws on us, and we can't do anything about that. Also, no lands. 27 lands in the deck, no lands. Should I just leave? I'm gonna leave. This game is not gonna be fun. I don't think I've completely lost yet, but this game's not gonna be fun fighting back from this. 27 lands, 3 lands, and nothing more. Those are our opening hand. All right. Well, that's the first game. Anyways, let's go try the next one. There's also a reason why I think a lot of the Legend decks runs the what is that, the Coalition Relic or the Legend Relic thing. I think it's not a bad idea, but I really want to try out this version without it because it runs a lot of lands, and then everything else are just creatures, so the Thalia does not tax us too much. Alright, you gonna duress me? I don't have anything. Also can't play anything, so here's a Thalia for you. Fun. 2 Agonjo's opening hand. I guess you're gonna choose one. What are you gonna choose here? If you don't choose the Adeline, I'm gonna be so surprised. Right? Yeah, you definitely choose the Adeline there. So we'll get Dennick out. That's pretty good. I don't think I can play anything else. So Dennick or Melira? I don't need the life gain. Melira is slightly better. It's bigger and it protects it protects my Thalia against any other thing. I don't know if I want to do that though. It really depends. So I need another red. Gemir Garden is red. I need another red for Geological Appraiser. That is a red, but it's going to take a while. So should we go in for the attack first and see what he does? I mean, he can turn a Foundry life. 3 mana for go for the throw here. He can do it, but it will cost him 3 mana. The Foundry will just die to the first strike, so I don't think he won't do that. Let's see. Choose another creature or artifact. When it's put in the graveyard this turn, return to the battlefield. Yeah, protect the Thalia here. That did protect him from all the damage that I'm dealing. Annoying, but it happens. Does he have a cut down? Oh no, he can turn a Mishra's Foundry live with Mishra's Foundry. Alright, 3 mana for go for the throw if he wants to. Oh no! Okay, well. Is there anything I can discover first that matters? Like a pump effect? I could get an Adeline, so there is that. No, I'll get a Sprout. That was funny. You just top deck the same card. Didn't matter there. 5 lands. The Ganjo won't help, even if I draw Jodah, because that's 2 white mana. I'm going to need 1 of each color. But I do have Skrelv that, if he doesn't kill this turn, he is live next turn. And there is not much he can do now. Once Skrelv is live. You can turn the Mishra's Foundry live to block the Appraiser, but that would be a very bad play. Let's see. I can protect it. Do I protect the Skrelv here? I think so. Not really short on mana as much as short on cards. Gonna play your Shieldred? It's pretty much the only thing you can do. Alright! We beat him without playing any really good cards. Just meandering attacks. Got the jobs done. What do we get here? Tough Cookie. Ah, good card. I think Tough Cookie is uncommon, right? It's a very fun deck to play, honestly. But this deck, on the other hand, it's making me question my life. We got 1 loss, we got 1 win, but both of those games were not very fun, I would say, with the draws that I got. But that, maybe it's just the draws. This time, let's see. I am gonna keep this hand, but cautiously optimistic. Alright, blue, I'm no longer optimistic. I am just down and out. What am I gonna play next turn? Probably the Killen, gets that counter. Then I'll play the Lagrella, gets that counter. Then I'll play the Geological Appraiser, gets that counter. That's gonna be fun. I mean, against blue, we just need a Cavern. And if we don't draw Cavern, nothing else really matters. Start countering. If you don't counter, you can't. Well, if you counter, you can't draw. Moment of truth. Okay, so he's going to try to draw instead. Which is probably what I would do, but hey, you know, I had to fight against that too. I hate these mono blue decks so much. They're just playing everything that's not fun in Magic. Nobody likes counterspells, right? Like, everybody sees counterspells and they just hate it. Alright, is there a reason why I need 3 lands before I attack? Probably not. Let's go for the attack first. No information for you. Put it in the graveyard. Take action? Yes. You gonna play something like a bounce? No. Alright. Let's see. Lagrella is probably not as useful as a Dennick. I don't want to play the Animpakal and get that counter. The Dennick probably can serve a little bit better as a lifelinker. Makes him think that I don't have anything. Yep, there's that counter spell. I don't want this to get countered, right? Dennick is okay if getting countered, because I can bring it back. You want to bounce to kill him? I have 4 Cavern of Souls. I just need to draw one of them, right? And this whole game is going to turn upside down. But nope. consider. They get a lot of draws, though. I don't get that much draw, so it's fair. It's not that, you know, I'm not drawing Cavern of Souls after digging through half my deck. Just I didn't draw it at all. Another Lagrella. He's probably gonna bounce kill him, I think. Yeah, there's the bounce. I can't play 2 creatures this turn, right? So, is there any reason why I would... Number of opponent who control an artifact? None. That's sweet. Alright, let's get our Geological Appraiser counter. Something has to get countered. Thirst! Not countering. Draw 3, discard 2. Unless you discard an island, which he probably will do. What am I thirsting for? Ooh! Haha! This is as good as you can get. Because I cannot get a Cavern from this. But I can get a Thalia. Good luck. Basically counter their Jinn, even if they play it. Just gonna let it go to my turn, huh? Alright, so do we Identify out them? It will cost him a lot, but he can definitely bounce the Thalia and then counter it. If he wants to do that. I cannot Jodah, huh? Not enough mana for that. So... let's see if he wants to counter the Identify. That will take up a lot of his turn. That will cost him 3 mana. Yep. Does he have a Fading Hope that he wants to use right now? On the Thalia? Because if he does, I would just play it back out. I think he's holding on to the Fading Hope. He has sticks. It's probably a Fading Hope, right? 1 mana blue, maybe it's considered. I mean, if it's considered, he'd probably fire it off. Yeah, he's thinking about whether or not he wants to bounce the Thalia to protect himself on the 2 damage. Which means he has no counterspell. If he has a counterspell in his hand, he will definitely bounce Thalia at the end of his turn. Or end of my turn. If he bounced the Appraiser. Oh, okay, March. That was way more surprising. What was his plan? To flood the knowledge thing? Thirst. Alright. Why'd you play a land if you're gonna thirst? Because his hand is full of lands. Valerian Terror. 5/5. War 2. Alright, I got white, red, green. Alright, none of this is good enough mana. So what do? I can Lagrella the Valerian Terror here. And then attack. That's actually not bad. Right, let's just try that. This is just War 2. Let's see if he wants to counter the... he can't counter it. He does have a bounce spell, I feel like. Oh, it's just to consider. That's not what you want to do right now. That tells me you have nothing. Alright, number of creatures. So this, yes, and then this, the Appraiser. Submit 2. I'll pay the ward. What am I gonna get? Another Thalia. Okay. That means I can Lagrella the Thalia to play another Thalia. There's your Jinn. He can probably phase out the Jinn, right? I think that's the plan anyways. Would I try to Agonjo his Jinn in response? Well, not in response. I will try to Agonjo the Jinn, and then if he tries to phase out the Jinn, then... Huh. Okay, I cannot kill it by 2 protection spells. Right, going through. I mean, I can't kill it by a phase spell or a protection spell because he probably has something. But I can take 10. I can afford to take 10 here. Let's see if I can draw something good. Oh well. It tells them what I have. You got a phase spell? You got a bounce spell. Moment of truth. Well, there goes your Jin, because... Oh, I mean, if you get a Fading Hope, I guess that can help. A phase spell might help too, but it will cost him his whole hand. Nope. Got nothing there. Now, can have a Flying Dennick. There's no removal in the blue deck. It's all just targeted bounce. Flow of Knowledge. You want to do that at 10 with like 9 damage on board here? That cost him his whole turn. I don't know what it was planned, but take that, mono blue. Yeah, I don't like mono blue, so I'm always happy to beat them. Still, the land base has been iffy. I never got to play anything on my land base, which is... Or, never got to play Jodah with my land base, which is not something I expect to happen, but it is what happened today. Maybe I do need to run that relic. But the Thalia did lock out our opponent, which makes it very enticing of a game. Okay, I'm gonna keep... I got white with the Jimir Garden. I got white with the Jimir Garden, which means that I can play Killen. And then after I play Killen, I can... oh, this is not a human. Oh, this is a human. So yeah, I can just name human with the secluded courtyard, and everything else will come out perfectly fine. Now I get my cavern. Thanks a lot. Is this enchantments? It is enchantments. Alright, if it's enchantments, so I just want to take out his naturalist. We won't get much without the naturalist. Oh, I'm gonna attack first. Do I want that in my hand? That's fine. I mean, I don't want it because I have lands. If he blocks, I'm gonna be so happy. Okay, we're gonna take an hour for this turn. Let's take an hour for this turn. We can protect our Killen with the Junkai Naturalist when it comes back, right? When Exile card comes back, it comes back with 2/1/1s. So if he wants to remove it, I get it back with as a 4/3 or a 4/5. Circle. There's a lot of removal in that deck. It's got 1 green, which Audacity 4/2. Interesting. So how do you want to fight this? Takes it. Probably has more removal, honestly. Let's just drop a land here. Do we Lagrella him? This is indestructible, which is not useful. This bounce returns it back, which is also not useful. So, we'll take his Junkai Naturals again. Slows him down. That's all we need to just slow him down. Ossification. What are you going to ossify? he have another removal he wants to use? That will take a lot of removal out of his hands, which makes the rest of my cards a lot better. Alright, the Ixalan is okay, he's gonna ossify. The Ixalan is a good card for card draw, but now that it's gone, I guess we're just gonna play Melira. Or do we do Halal? Hajar. Indestructible. Not that useful. Let's get the Melira out. And we'll get the Adeline out. Adeline's not very good at attacking into a Junkai Naturalist because, well, you know, you can definitely protect it. Weaver. Now it's a 3/3. Thalia is good for taxing his cards, but if I attack with this, he can just double block, which I don't want him to do right away. There's no instant speed, right? So this is not going to make it that much better. This, when attacked, it will be 4 damage. Yeah, it will be 4 damage. If he double blocks, let's see if he knows what's going on. I'll attack with the Melira too. Yeah, he just blocks that. Alright, it's hoping to play something big. Let's stop that from happening. With Thalia. Slows him down a little bit more. Oh, it just quits. Take that, enchantments. Alright, we beat enchantments, we beat mono blue. Those are my most hated opponents, and we were able to take them out. So I'm happy about that. Did we? I think we lost to the first game or the second game that was mono white because, well, we weren't drawing any lands. So yeah, let's talk about this deck. I do think it's a good deck. It's put up a lot more wins than I thought it would, and it never got to Jodah, which is something that I really wanted the deck to be able to do. But just that early package of all the legends, I think it's good enough because these lands help us play the legendary creatures. Somehow, though, I keep drawing Jetmir Garden, but I don't draw these as often. The 12 land package that I put in for the legend deck, I don't draw as much as the Jetmir Garden that keeps showing up in my hand. The deck is very Jetmir heavy, or what is this called? Naya heavy. We have all of these. This is blue, but that's about it. The Dennick doesn't matter as much. Everything else is pretty much Naya, right? And now we got the whole package out pretty quickly. The Geological Appraiser, just like the Rakdos Discovered deck, has shown that it is a very, very strong card. Because it's not just a 4-mana 3/3, it's a 4-mana 3/3 that brings in like an Adeline. So if you cast an Adeline for 3 mana, you can imagine this as a 1-mana 3/2. That's not bad. 1-mana 3/2 is not bad. Or if you're bringing a Thalia, it's a 2-mana 3/2. In that situation, it sounds slightly worse. But don't forget, you get that card into your hand if you can't cast it. So it's kind of like a draw, right? So it's a 1-mana 3/2 or a 2-mana 3/2 that also draws you a card. Now, if you think about it in that fashion, oh, that is an insanely good card to put in a very tempo-heavy package. The Lagrella, though, it's been fun. This is where you have to really think about what you are removing with this card, right? The Lagrella is not just removing your opponent. You remove your own creature. And sometimes it takes away from the tempo when you do that, but you saw how important that was, because when you have your own creature underneath the Lagrella, then, sounds dirty, I know, then if your opponent removes her, or him, I don't know, whatever, it removes the Lagrella, the creature that comes back with 2+1/+1 counters. That makes it a lot harder to block. And with a tempo deck like that, we lose a little bit of tempo in that first turn, and then we get it back in the next turn when we attack with it. And if our opponent wants to remove it right away, we don't even lose that tempo. We just turn the Ixalan into a 4/5 and takes 2 mana out of our opponent's hand for that removal. That was very important for that last game, for us to get that tempo presence to keep pushing through damage. And that's how we won that game. This is a very good deck. I mean, looking back at how it performed, I really think this is a very good deck. All of these other lands, though, that's something that you can always kind of adjust. Maybe the Aganjo you can also adjust, but the Aganjo did get us win against that blue deck by channeling it. So I don't know if you want to cut that Aganjo. Having 3 might be good. 27 lands in the deck, it's okay to have 3 of the same channel lands. yeah, I do think this is a strong deck. If you like to have fun, this is also a very fun deck. It's not one-dimensional. There's so many different ways to play it. So that's also a reason why to play this deck. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.